Pottery starts with clay, which is dirt that has been somewhat refined. I mold that into a shape. Sometimes I do it on the wheel. Occasionally I just roll it out and hand build pottery. At that point, I think about what design I want reflected in this pottery. Right currently, I am rolling different fabrics. This shirt was originally going to be rolled into pottery, but I decided I liked the shirt and I kept it. Shoot. Yep. Ooh. Baby. Baby. All right. So this is basically Pottery 101. What I've done is I took balls of clay, I weighed them out because I'm going to throw travel coffee mugs, you know, the kind that would fit in your car. So I want them all about the same weight. I've got my water, I've got my tools nearby. Let me start. I'm going to clean off my bat, which is this plastic shape that I'm going to throw on. This is my bat. I'm going to take a nice piece and slap it down. Put a little water over it to lubricate it so it slides through my hands. And I got to find the center. Once it's nice and centered, and in an approximate, the base is the size that I want, the foot, I'm going to do what's called opening up the clay. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to push down into the center. A little further. Now I'm just going to pull the clay open. Nice. This is my little secret. I close my eyes when I pull because I find that I'm shutting out my sense of sight and I'm going completely on feel and touch. And I feel that I can get a better sense of the evenness and the thickness of the wall that I'm pulling up than when I just trust my eyes. And when I use my eyes, I tend to overcompensate with my hands. But if I shut my eyes out of the equation, I get a better sense of the feel, of the thickness of the piece and the wall of the vessel. All right, now I'm going to use the rib. And again, this will help me continue to even out. There's little bumps of unevenly distributed clay. So this will help me to evenly distribute it. I won't fold into those lines. Now I'm going to put my signature ribbon on the top. And again, I use the rib. I press in with the rib and out with my finger to create this ridge. And then I push the ribbon in again with the arched side of the rib. Done. Now put the water on it. All right, so now that I have thrown some mugs, and here are 4 mugs that I threw earlier today. I am going to do what's called pulling a handle, also referred to as the adult portion. What I do is I want to take some clay and put it into a carrot shape. Okay, now I'm going to get it wet, and I'm just going to start to elongate it into a handle. And I'm rolling it through my hand, but I'm trying to evenly distribute the clay, because I don't want a thin, weak handle, but I also don't want a thick, clunky handle. Again, it's all about balance. And that's about good because my arms aren't any longer. Now I take that, I just press it someplace where it can air dry a little bit because it's too flimsy to work with the pot right now. Now, while that handle is drying, I'm going to put the imprint, the design, on my mug. These are all items that I got from Goodwill. This is a table runner. This was a girl's dress. This is a girl's skirt. This is a favorite. This is a curtain. And this is a shirt. Yeah, so I have all these different designs that I can put on. So what I need to do, I take a jar approximately the same size as the inside of the mugs that I throw. I wrap it in paper, and you'll see why. When I roll the design in, there has to be some equal strength on the inside, otherwise the pot itself will collapse. So I'll take this, I'll stick it down in. See, now I can handle the mug easily. I will take my, this was a shirt, you can see, that I got from Goodwill. It's always a fun day to go to Goodwill. I go in there and I'm like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. All of a sudden, who when he sees the binary and he recognizes it, I walk into Goodwill and I see texture everywhere. And so that's always a fun day. Then all I do is I take my wooden roller and I start rolling. Things like the dots there, and I do try to keep it smooth, but I found that I don't mind the wrinkles. Even from the clothing, they add an air of authenticity to it. Okay. So what I like about doing this process is I still get imperfections in it, and I like that. I like seeing the wrinkles of the fabric. I like seeing the striations of the fabric itself, not just the design of the embroidery. And I think all of this also shows a sense of motion, a sense of imperfection, while still maintaining some aesthetically pleasing designs. So I've really been happy with this technique. Now I'm going to pull this off, and you can see, there we go. And that's ready for a handle. So what I usually find where the fabric met, yeah, there, because I'm going to hide that under the handle. Now I'm going to score the mug, and then I'm going to spray water on it to create slip, and that's so that the handle will adhere. And then I press the end of the handle to that. Bend it around. This clay's a little dry now from this weather, this beautiful weather. Now this is my signature thumb piece that I do. Score the mug. Wet it. I'm going to push this piece down on. Make sure it's adhered to the mug. Now this is one of the fun parts. So now this is a dried piece of pottery. I put the impression on. Now I'm gonna I have black stain that has been mixed with just water. And I'm gonna brush it on, and you'll see it get absorbed into the design. Yeah, I can tilt it like this for you. And then I wipe off so it just remains in the design. Now that the clay is dry, because I'm putting something wet back on it, it's absorbing it. And it's leaving the stain in the grooves that the impression made. Okay, and that's ready. I'm just gonna let that dry. Once it's dried, I pick it back up and I'm gonna just give it one wipe. Or two. And I'll just let it dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by pouring the glaze in the hardened pottery that I made already. Quick pour fill. And back in there. So, there we go. And it's fun. I feel like a mad scientist. I'm looking for any cracking that might develop, because if there's a thin spot in my pottery, the moisture from gets sucked in, and it might create a weak spot, and then if it's thin, it might crack. And at that point I can't fire it, because it would just continue to crack further in the kiln. The thing I love about working with pottery is it's still dirt. It's glass and clay and minerals as the colorant, and the clay itself. Look. What happened was I must have had a weak spot in there, and the moisture got sucked into it, and now it expanded and it cracked, and that's it. So there's nothing I can do with this now. So all I'm gonna do, see, I have a little graveyard back there. That's other pots, glaze that was old, and I'm just gonna let it go back into the ground. I don't use anything that is dangerous. I don't use anything that wouldn't be healthy, so this can just go back into the ground. So ashes to ashes, you ready? And that's that, and I start all over again. Well, now that I'm done the glazing, I'm gonna put them in the kiln. This is an electric kiln. It gets up to 2100 degrees, and this will clearly get rid of any moisture that's left and cure, so to speak, or harden the glaze itself. All right. Okay. So it's been about 38 hours, and we're gonna open the kiln. This is my Christmas, and I can't wait to see what we got. Oh. Looks good. On the whole, I think it's been a very good kiln load. I'm very pleased with what I see. Always learn a couple things that I might do differently next time. But it's a journey. It's always a journey. You're always learning. I want to thank you for taking this journey with me, and I really want to encourage you to go out, get your hands dirty, and stick with it. If you're interested in any of my pottery, please check us out online. And thank you.